Well, good morning, everybody. Nice to meet you all again. I'm StJohn Crean. I'm the Vice-Chancellor for Research and Enterprise here at the University of Lancashire. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to the first episode in a podcast series for the upcoming Research and Knowledge Exchange Festival. The podcasts we're going to put on are to showcase some of the fantastic and leading research, innovations and practices from across our Research and Knowledge Exchange community here in the university. The themes that we're working towards, and I hope will come through during the Knowledge Exchange events, will be transforming lives and creating prosperity for Lancashire, the UK and beyond. Today I am joined by two colleagues I'm delighted to introduce to you. First of all, we have Victoria Millsop, who's head of the Cyber Solutions Centre. Good morning, Victoria.
Good morning, StJohn.
And we have Professor Rob Walsh, who is an Associate Pro-Vice-Chancellor here at the university and a Professor of Solar Physics. Good morning, Rob.
Hi, StJohn, good to see you. Thank you.
I've asked both colleagues here today to discuss some of the latest work that's been undertaken in the theme of defence, security and digital, which again is a big area of activity which will come through during the festival week. Rob, I'm going to start with you, ask you a few questions. The university, thanks to your hard work and other colleagues that you work with, has been working on setting up a new university facility in Wharton. It's called Altitude. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what's been involved in getting it set up?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to tell you about what Altitude really is. The Wharton Enterprise Zone is next to BAE Systems, but it's a part of the wider Enterprise Zone network that Lancashire is putting together. And we're the anchor tenant on the Enterprise Zone with a new facility called Altitude. And Altitude is really trying to create a hub of excellence for aerospace and space and associated technologies. So we've taken a lease for two large hangars, one of which has an indoor netted space for flying uncrewed aerial systems and the connections to ground systems for that. We've got research labs, we've got classrooms, and we're working very closely with business because we've got incubation space as well for companies not just to collaborate with us, but actually sit in the same physical space with us.
I mean, companies must love the concept that it's on the Enterprise Zone, so close to BAE Systems.
Yes, and BAE Systems is one attraction, but actually the university is an attraction as well. Access to academic expertise, but also to our students, to the fact that they're the workforce of the future, and those individuals, particularly in the Lancashire context, really want to stay within the area, and these are high-tech jobs that require individuals to really apply themselves. And it's exactly what we do as a university. Really take those ideas that we have, those bits of research and capability we have, and apply it in a real context. Altitude is sort of the physical manifestation of that.
I mean, it's a great opportunity, isn't it, for colleagues within the main campus here in Preston to get a view of the contextual requirements of working in an enterprise zone, but also so closely with BAE Systems. They give a real world learning imperative, don't they?
Absolutely, and it's that changes. When you're working outside of the academic arena, you get to understand what the pressures are, what the real world, real challenges and real world problems are within that, and how we can respond to it. But we've always had that within the university's DNA, and this is just again another expression of that. And the fact that we are collaborating with so many companies in the Northwest, because it is a really rich ecosystem for aerospace and beginning now in space. Engineering generally, I suppose, and advanced manufacturing, but also the fact that you've got one of the largest primes in the world, let alone in the UK, working alongside us, that has a real draw to it, and really understand about how we can really create the research, the innovation, but also the individuals and the careers that will actually push forward and meet these challenges in the future.
And I guess it's been a reasonably, I'm not going to say simple, but relatively well-engineered journey, because we've worked with BAE Systems or BAE in the past for a long time, haven't we?
Yeah, through various projects and collaborations, there's been very targeted pieces of activity as we've given our expertise and brought that and to that collaboration and to that particular project and work. This is wider and a bit deeper in regard of sort of understanding what it means to have a sort of physical location there, to actually be able to work not just with BE but the whole system really, and actually physically stand up in that environment. But no, we've worked with companies and large scale engineering companies for many years, BAE being one really good example of that.
Yeah, no, I think it's a real jewel in our crown, isn't it, to be able to work with such an important prime, as you say.
Yes.
But also, I guess, within the university, particularly, I guess, within the School of Engineering and Computing, people who decide to go to university these days are going to look and see, well, what job am I going to get at the other end? Absolutely. This really is a very attractive offer from a university perspective.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's what we really are here for, really, and we really want our students not just to get through a degree, but actually get a really good career at the end of it all, and get the opportunities for that. And this allows us to bring our students exposed to these sorts of companies, these sorts of opportunities much earlier in their career cycle, and to see what we're actually trying to do here as the University of Lancashire.
Yeah. And of course, it ties into the whole enthusiasm and the whole ambition for Lancashire to grow and economically grow, let alone physically grow.
Yeah, the Lancashire Economic Strategy, which has come out, is very much on that. Working with the industrial strategy that the government's put forward, working with the opportunities that we have within Lancashire, and we play a pivotal role within that. And what we're doing at Altitude and how we're trying to really grab hold of those sort of opportunities for our students, for our university, for the staff, and for us to actually, in many respects, if nothing else, be able to show we can make a contribution from the university regionally, nationally and internationally in these areas.
That's a very attractive proposition, isn't it? And it really gives some real impetus to our offering, particularly at a time when the higher education environment is quite a challenging environment, let alone the economic environment.
Yes, yeah. Why would you want to come to university? Well, let's give you an opportunity to really get your hands dirty, really get involved with what the applied nature is of the work we're doing.
Really positions us, I guess, as an anchor institution, doesn't it, for a much wider region than just the city centre.
Absolutely.
I know how hard you've worked and your team have worked up there, and it's been you've started from scratch in terms of the capital as well as the educational and academic elements of it. But if you were to tease out one particular area that you're really pleased about in terms of work achieved so far, what do you think you'd like to highlight to the audience?
Yeah, there's probably a number of things, but the fact that we've actually, as an institution, worked together, across the services and the academic areas to stand this up relatively quickly. It's just over a year, really, since we've been able to bring people into this facility. And I suppose related to that is that people also, together have seen the opportunity that Altitude brings. It is an environment which is unique and fresh and different, not just to the university, but I think to the region. And when people visit Altitude, they really do see the opportunity, not just the potential, but actually what's really happening there and where they can be involved. So it's a project where I think we've all sort of pulled together. And now is the opportunity to take advantage of that and to really show what we can do with it. So teamwork is the thing that's really come out of this. And
it's teams across the university,
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It isn't just the academics, it's services, academics,
the whole
huge
shebang.
area of support. And that really is a real, I think, a feather in our cap for that.
Yeah, and I suppose the other one thing is just the physicality of the space, this indoor netted space that we have for drones and other systems to be tested within that. That's what probably we think it's the biggest in Europe. We've got something there where we can do lots and lots of things. We're looking at uncrewed systems for farming, for demining, for a whole host of other applications sort of into that. And that has opened up opportunities for companies to work with us in ways we've never been able to do before. So that in itself is exciting as well.
It seems to me that it's also given the north, particularly the northwest, a place of discussion, a place of development, of innovation, in a fairly significant area of development, which is defence and security as well as digital. And the North perhaps has been lacking that sort of space in the past, where interested, political or otherwise, can come and discuss issues.
Absolutely, and I think as a university we do play that sort of glue within that system, bringing people together and tying them together on that. And Altitude has a large sort of multi-event space. We call it the docking bay, where people can sort of join together, and we can have real important and in-depth networking opportunities and lots of things from that. In fact, even this last year, I think we've probably engaged with about 300 different businesses in some shape or form through that. So it's in that respect, it's taking off, he says, but it gives the Northwest something different, something new, and a focus for that SMEs, primes, universities and our university colleagues in other institutions and local government really to work together in that sort of really triple helixy way of all three of us being on the same page and pulling in the same direction.
Well, it's great work, Rob, and it's been hard work. There's still a lot of hard work to go, of course, with all these projects, but we're really it's a fantastic development. And I guess, Victoria, as we come to you, and we are in a moment, I'll just ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself. But inevitably, some of the work that you'll be doing, of course, or have been doing, overlaps and ties into the facility at Altitude. We'll come to that, I guess. Just for the audience, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. So my background is probably a little bit unusual for coming into higher education and into the university. I'm an army spouse for just under 30 years. So I've lived.
Who's counting?
Yeah, me, definitely. So I've lived around the military world and understand that environment and that community. But also in that, I've also juggled a life working in corporate. I worked in telecoms and software as a business development manager and then a sales director for the last 10, 15 years. So I come into the higher education sector from a very fast commercial corporate background, which moved at pace and was very competitive, to say the least, working for people like Marconi, etc. I came to the university. I saw an opportunity to step back from the corporate world, and I joined an ERDF program in business development here, which was one of the best things I've ever done. It was a really good move, and that allowed me to step across to the Cyber Solutions Centre, which in turn brought the Lancashire Cyber Partnership to fore. And we were starting we're about 6 to 12 months into working with them. And now I'm sort of bringing my two worlds together, if you will, and combining the working with government, military, industry, but within the HE sector, which I have to say is really exciting, and I do enjoy it. I suppose my career has been about working in different worlds, and now they're just colliding for me, which is great.
It's fortuitous for us as well, isn't it? You've mentioned a few of the agencies that you're discussing or talking to. Do you think your business background has armed you slightly better than us poor academics when it comes to talking to the outside world?
I think it gives you, certainly from my perspective, I can't help it, but I tend to look at everything as what are the opportunities here. So when people are talking, my brain's firing off left, right and centre going, oh, fantastic, you've just mentioned X or Y. I need to introduce you to so-and-so, or it'd be perfect if you could speak to so-and-so. And there's always opportunities when you're meeting and connecting with, whether it's, as you say, within the triple helix, the government, the businesses. There's always an opportunity or an angle and how that can help and benefit us for the university, but obviously benefiting the ecosystem, because they're looking for those skills that we can supply. They're looking for trusted environments, again, that we can supply. And Altitude is a great example of an environment where we've brought people in and they've looked and gone, wow, this is really good. And I can see us working here. I can see us learning here. I can see us lecturing here because they want to come and talk to our students and things. So really good interfaces.
And I guess many of the agencies you discussed are looking for spaces, organisations that they can trust. And I guess Altitude and other activities provides that reassurance.
Oh, absolutely. We're very lucky that when we are bringing people onto campus, there's a great network of academics, of other professions that we can bring together and say, we all need to have this conversation, and we can sit down in a room and have it. And they've been really impressed of the agencies that have come in with how we coalesce from around the university and come together around their problems and their challenges that they're bringing us. So we're helping them not only with our skills, but we're looking at the workforce that they're looking for, or the trusted spaces that they need to work in as well. So it's a real combination.
And moving from the business world into the university or the higher education world, I'm assuming you're having to work on a number of projects that the geopolitical environment demands some fairly fast pace of response.
Yeah.
Are you managing to coerce this university world into a speedier response?
It's true. The last 3 months have seen a marked shift and change in the way that the government, the MOD, whether it's regional military or wider military organisations, MOD organisations, are bringing their problems and their challenges to us. Frustrated because they're looking for the money to back that up, and that's not always there yet. But what it means is that we as a university can be having those conversations with them. We're listening to them, we're understanding. And what's really refreshing is, in a variety of ways, we already have solutions or ways we think we can answer their problems. And we are ready to move in a lot of instances. Some instances, they're coming to us and they want 2 and 3 week turnarounds to quite chunky problems and issues, but we're responding to them, and so far so good. We've just got to keep going, and I don't think the pace is going to let up.
No, I think you're right. I think the outside world is expecting a lot of us, along with other players and actors in this space, BAE Systems as well, of course. And I think people like yourselves working in this area, you're a very trusted group of people that the outside world will come and talk to, and the university will benefit from that. So I think that's fantastic. So thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
So we've now heard from Rob and Victoria, and I hope you can get a little bit of a feel for how important the work that they are doing is to the university going forward, and some of the messages I hope will come out during the festival week. I want to thank you very much for joining us today and sharing some of your details about the work you're doing, some of the ideas. And we realise there's a lot more going on during the festival. And we're also delighted to announce that we are expecting a message from the current Minister of Science, Innovation, Research and Nuclear, Patrick Vallance, Lord Vallance, who will be giving some information to us, or a message to us about the types of work we're doing going forward. So on behalf of everybody, I look forward to the festival. I look forward to speaking to you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.